Hey guys, welcome to today's video. Today we're at London Road. It's quite a busy road behind me. This is one of our new purchases, part of the CC group. In front of me we've got the corner plot, we've also got next door neighbours, and there's also a garage at the bottom there. So we'll take you through to the first building, which will go straight upstairs. So starting off upstairs, I'll call this the right hand side of the block. We've actually got a 7-bed house altogether. Upstairs they separate into 4 rooms, a kitchen and a bathroom. The plan was, because these are all stud partitions, we can like knock this all through and form like a massive studio. And to be fair, because we've got such an open plan, we can literally do 4 studios upstairs, and we've got room up in the loft as well. So the plan for the loft was to have a studio for this side, but because next door is slightly smaller, you've got 3-bed terrace, the plan was to lend some of this space to next door to make that a 6-bed studio as well. So in total we're basically going for 6 studios on one side of the house, 6 on the other house. And then there's a garage at the back, which you'll see in a bit. We can get planning on for like 6 or 7, which makes 18 or 19 studios. The reason why 6, not because of the devil's number, we just decided to go down the permitted development route. One of my business partners actually has a few properties around the area, and she's had challenges through planning, but we decided to get this route so we can get to site quicker. Literally start the refurbishment as soon as possible. It's kind of similar to the Ashbourne Road development, when we kind of had it subject to planning in a way where we had time to get the planning before we completed. And doing so, as soon as we completed, we could get straight onto site, and then that was completed within 1 year, like July to July. 14 ensuite rooms were developed, including a bungalow conversion, and they were literally rented out next year for the students, and that's the idea really. I mean, this is a similar kind of plot size, probably a little bit bigger than that other one, but when I came to view this just before Christmas, it was kind of great because it's like, oh, I can visualise and just calculate from the floor space existing, probably about 14 studios, and then we needed the extra 4 or 5 studios to kind of get the GDV higher, so we have a higher margin so it can cover the build costs and also the rent as well. So we'll take you downstairs to show you what the layout is like. So into next door, which has a false roof. So this is part of the downstairs, so we were upstairs in the main building. Previously I think the vendor just decided to split it into sort of like flats really, and it used to be a HMO before he took it on, then he rented out to like a company to rent the flats out. To the back of me there's the garage. So the architect confirmed that if we own next door as well as this one, we can actually build 2 stories on this side. So that lends itself more space for us to do the development, as well as the dormer upstairs that we're going for. Let's carry on inside. Right, so we're downstairs in the bottom half of the next door, right hand side as I call it. Down here the plan is to have a communal area as well as the studios. Now the reason why we're doing this is because we're trying to treat it similar to a HMO, where one of the rooms lends itself the space by having this kitchen separate to their ensuite room, and by doing that, from a HMO perspective, they look at it as a HMO licensable property, and the lenders also put a HMO product on it. Whereas if you went down all studios with no communal, which is what we learnt from the pub conversion I did, we've got 7 council taxes that are landed on our desk. So there's a learning there, and the reason why we're designing this way is also, I think it's nice because the studios aren't massive. I think 16 square meters to 20 square meters is kind of the average of what we're going for. It's still nice to have a separate communal area because yes, you can cook and eat in your own room, but at the same time you might even want your own social space and laundry rooms as well. I think it's good to have them separate as well, rather than having to forge out for like 18 washer dryers. So I think what we're going to do is similar to what we did at Ashbourne Road, have like its own laundry room. It went for like 6 washer dryers, and then like a worktop space and put a laundry basket on. So yeah, downstairs the plan is to have communal, and there'll be like 3 studios. So I'm standing in the kitchen, which will form part of the studio at the back. Walk into here, excuse the lights, it's a bit dim in here, someone decided to take light bulbs. There's a room inside here, so if you knock this all the way through, this forms like a massive communal area for the studios, and also forms part of the kitchen of one of the ensuite rooms. And like I said, this room itself is probably around 12 square meters, so we've got plenty of room to work with, as well as the space next door, which as soon as we show you around. Oh yeah, you can see like the stairs, so like when we went through the front of the building, they blocked off the stairs, so we'll reopen it. So there's access going from the inside, from ground floor to upstairs. But yeah, like this is like a 16 square meter room. In there you've got probably about 18 square meters, so it was just great when we had the architect around, because we've got high ceilings as well, so all the rooms we can visualize it to be like massive studios. We only need like probably enough worktop space. If you look at my old video on the 6 bed, we only need enough for the sink, a 2-ring hob, an oven, and a little bit of space for like cooking. And then we can put the majority of stuff in the communal area where they can socialise and like just have a breakout really, and watch TV in the communal with like a bigger TV. So that kind of brings us up to a summary of the downstairs. We can't go next door because it's still occupied right now. The owner's relative lives next door, so we're being a bit clever where we're actually trying to find accommodation for them so they can move on, and then the quicker we complete on next door we can start the works there. So me and Heather, we're just planning how we're going to fund it and phase it. Like I said, permitted development, we can get to site straight away as soon as we've got the working drawings, but the main thing is just getting that delayed completion for the vendor, because he has tax reasons, and also we want to complete on the garage but also not have too much risk waiting for planning. So again, that's kind of phased as well as everything else. So hopefully by this time next year we'll have a completed development ready for refinance. Some quick calculations. Basically we said about 73 grand the studio is what they're going for around the area. So we say 19 of them, that's like 1.393 to 1.4 mil. 1.4 mil times 75% gives us like 1,050,000 to play with, and minus the purchase and construction costs. We're pretty much all money out. We're leaving a little bit of money for maybe the furnishings and a bit of fees. We will probably get 2 empty homes grants on this as well, empty homes loans. So that's 20 grand a piece, similar to Ashbourne Road, so that's 40 grand there. But I kind of use that as a sinking fund if we need it, just bearing in mind like costs of materials going up and all sorts of silly things that happen on site. Rent wise, I think we'll get about 650 per studio, so that's 12,350 a month. Times that by 12, it's about 148 grand, nearly 150 grand. I mean, we just rented some studios out for 675, and some even 700, so 650 is kind of like the average. And then given that, I always say 50% goes to finance and like bills and stuff. So between me and my business partner, there's 74 grand there for grabs between us. So divide by 2, 37 grand. Good 3 grand a month. So that adds on to our existing portfolio with CEC. That's already about 1.5 grand each. So yeah, we're tempted to push that, try and get 10 grand each per person, and who knows, maybe someone might be interested by the whole portfolio at a later date. So a lot of people ask me what's your exit strategy. I think it's good to kind of hold on to properties, but the exit one day would maybe to sell to like pension schemes or like anyone that's looking to buy a whole portfolio and like put the cash in, rather than how we leverage with mortgages with long-time finance. So that's an update for today on this London Road project. I'll probably do another update when we're complete and get the keys. We're aiming for 31st of March. If it does delay, it's probably because of like legal reasons, but we'll see what happens. But yeah, stay tuned, hit the subscribe, notification bell, and see you on the next video.